Hi everyone, and happy 4/13, aka Homestuck Day. Welcome to the first of a series of videos recommending books to each of the 12 main Homestuck trolls. Since each troll represents a zodiac sign, I will cover each troll during their respective signs. So apologies to any Gamzee, Eridan and Fefre enjoyers. You will literally have to wait till next year to get your favourite covered. As for the kids, I reckon I'll cover one of each of them after every set of 3 trolls. So the first of the beta kids will be between Solux and Karkat. Anyway, with all that preamble out of the way, let's recommend some books to the first troll, who represents Aries, Aradia Megido. I have 8 books here. I'm going to try and get at least 5 for each troll. Some of them have proven easier than others. I have 8 books here relating to different aspects of Aradia's character, her role in the story, etc. So the first of those aspects is her interest in archaeology, and we know she's interested in archaeology and she lives at some ruins. So I have 2 books here relating to that. The first one is The 7 Ancient Wonders by Matthew Riley. This is the first in a series, and I describe it as sort of like an Indiana Jones type series. It's a very, very awesome, fun series involving a conspiracy, apocalyptic conspiracy, which is also appropriate because, I mean, part of her troll tag is literally, apocalypse arisen. And so apocalypse is another one of her themes. And so basically the characters in this book have to prevent an apocalypse by visiting lots of archaeological sites, these 7 ancient wonders in the case of this first book, and gathering the MacGuffin of the day to prevent the end of the world. So this seems very fitting for Aradia. The second book I have that is relating to her interest in archaeology is The Honourable Thief by Megan Wilson Anastasios, and this one is set in like the 1950s Greece and Turkey, about an archaeologist who has been disgraced, and he's basically involved in this like scam selling antiques or fake antiques and things, and he's also dealing with this woman from his past, but he also has to go on digs and explore ruins. So those are 2 books I have that relate to archaeology. Moving on from that idea is Aradia's theme of death. I mean, she is literally dead at the start of the story. That's not even a spoiler. She's dead from the start of the story. We only learn later how that happened, with her being the second victim of the infamous Flarp incident. And the first book I have relating to this is the manga Death Note by Sugumi Oba and Takeshi Obata. And this is about a high school student named Light who finds a notebook that kills anyone whose name is written in it. And he decides to become the god of the world by eliminating all the bad people in the world. And he also comes into conflict with this detective named Elle, who's trying to find out who's responsible for this. And so this relates to Aradia because obviously she's dead, and also because she, like Light and Elle, ends up being involved with manipulating the troll's game, secretly being basically in charge of the thing running the show in the background. Again, like what Light and Elle get up to in this series. The other book I have related to Aradia's status as a ghost is Scarlet Dead by Kathy Brett. This is a YA sort of book. I absolutely love this book. It was one of my favourite ones growing up, and it's about the girl named Scarlet Dead who's very a goth. She's into goth stuff, horror, all that sort of thing, and she dies and becomes a ghost, and she quickly becomes depressed and lonely because her friends can't see her, so she decides to try and kill them off to make them ghosts too, and so we'll see how that plays out. So this obviously ties into Aradia being a ghost and changing as a result of becoming a ghost, and how her friends also feel about her new status. The next two books I hear relate to Aradia's class aspect as the Maid of Time. The first one being The Timekeeper by Mitch Albom, which is about two people who, one is a teenager who is fed up with life and decides to end her life, and the second is an old man who is dying of cancer and basically wants to get himself cryogenically frozen so he can live forever. And Father Time intervenes and shows them why this is not ideal for either of them. And so this relates to Aradia's aspect of time. And once again also the theme of death, also, with both of the characters in this book dealing with that in their own ways, and how time relates to it. The other one I have relating to the class aspect is one I admittedly have not actually read yet, and that is The Housekeepers by Alex Hay. And this ties into her class as a maid and also her ancestor, the handmaiden. It's about a housekeeper who seeks to undermine the lady of the house, which is also relevant to the handmaiden's involvement with the Condess. Basically, this housekeeper gets dismissed and wants to take revenge, which also ties into Aradia's role in the Flop disaster, with how she reacts to what happens to Tavros, wanting to and how she gets involved in that whole cycle of revenge that spirals, snowballs from that. Also tying into the handmaiden, and also Aradia and the handmaiden's role as manipulating the whole game from the shadows, from behind the scenes, and background is Master of the Game by Sydney Sheldon, a book I've talked about numerous times on this channel because I absolutely love it. This is about a family ruled by the matriarch, and she's basically manipulating all her successive descendants' lives in order for them to fit her image of continuing the family wealth, their business, and all of that. So manipulation from a matriarch, ancestor, manipulating the lives of her descendants. That sounds, relevant to the handmaiden and, of course, her descendant Aradia. And the last book I have relates to Aradia and her robot body that Aqueous builds for her, and that is Skinned by Robin Wasserman. This is about a rich girl who is involved in a basically near fatal accident and has her consciousness transferred to a robot body without her permission, and she has to deal with how she feels about that, what she can and can't do, and how she's just angry at the way things turned out because nobody treats her the same afterwards. So this obviously relates to how Aradia's spirit gets transferred to that robot body that Aqueous built for her, and also the sort of way that Aqueous designed it against her consent, because Aqueous was being Aqueous. If you know, you know. So that is all of the books that I have for Aradia Megido, or Aradia's fans, or if Aradia is your zodiac troll, maybe you'll want to check some of those out. So I hope you enjoyed it. Next month we'll cover Tavros Nitram, so please like the video and subscribe so you don't miss that and all of the rest of the Homestuck troll recommendations. And as always, thank you for watching. Do lots of maths, read lots of books, and I'm sure you'll have an amazing day.